Now let's look at a diagram of the laboratory setup for the demonstration. Here, since the same hardware is used for both MMP and mobile IP, some of these nodes have two labels. For example, this node is the MMP gateway when we use MMP, and it also functions just as an ordinary router when mobile IP is used. For MMP, we have leaf 1 over here and MMP base station 1, leaf 2 over here and MMP base station 2. And these nodes here together form the micromobility domain. For mobile IP, on the other hand, this is a router, this is the home subnet, and we have the home agent here. Over on this other side, we have the visited subnet and the foreign agent. For both of these protocols, we have a router and a correspondent host. The correspondent host can be anywhere in this IP-based network. And we're having communications between the correspondent host and the mobile host. All right, let's move on to the demonstrations. We'll begin with a demonstration of mobile IP. Over here we have the mobile IP home agent. It has a wireless interface with which it can communicate with the mobile host. This is the IP router that for MMP would function as the MMP gateway. This is our mobile host. As we can see, it's mobile, and it has its wireless interface as well. This machine is the mobile IP foreign agent. It is on a different subnet from the mobile IP home agent, and it also has a wireless interface. Over there is the correspondent host. Now let's begin the demonstration of mobile IP. We're now looking at the display on the mobile IP home agent. Up here we see the status. It's serving the mobile host at home. So the mobile host is in subnet 1, and this is the picture that we have seen before. The route taken by packets coming from the correspondent host is shown in red. It goes through the Linux router in the subnet 1 to the home agent, and then out on this wireless link to the mobile host. Let's see what happens when we move from subnet 1 to subnet 2. We're now looking at a screen on the mobile host, and I'm going to click on this button here to hand off to the foreign agent in subnet 2. Okay, we now see that the mobile host has handed off successfully to the foreign agent, and registration has been completed. So packets coming from the correspondent host are taking this route. They're going through the Linux router, coming to the home agent, where they're being encapsulated and tunneled back through the Linux router to the foreign agent, where they get unencapsulated and forwarded over the wireless link to the mobile host. We're looking at a screen on the correspondent host now. What's happening is that the correspondent host is sending packets to the mobile host and receiving replies from the mobile host. When there are no disruptions in communications, the replies are coming back at roughly a constant rate. So we see a constant gradient here, for example, and also here, for example. However, there are also times when there are disruptions in communications causing delays. Here we see one example. What is happening here is that the handoffs occurring from the home agent to the foreign agent and back to the home agent, causing these delays. We've just seen how mobile IP performs. Now let's look at MMP. I want to show you our prototype implementation of MMP and how it works. After that, we'll repeat the experiment that we just saw, except that this time we'll be using MMP instead of mobile IP.